My name's Debbie Cavazzo. I'm president of the Tahoma Unitarian Universalist Congregation Board of Trustees. We welcome everyone who's here this morning. We welcome those of you who come with a longing for community, hope for peace, and a search for justice. We're a diverse congregation, and we encourage everyone to seek their own truth and beliefs. Just a administrative note, we will be recording today's service, and you'll be able to find it on our website, which is tahomauu.com. And you can also find it later on our Facebook page if you go up into the Facebook search box and just put in Tahoma Unitarian. It should pop right up for you. So now we can begin.
Good morning, everyone. I was so glad to see everyone checking in and logging in on the chat. I won't be able to keep track now that I'm helping, but I'm so glad all of you are here this morning. Our opening words come from Sarah Lawal. This is it. This moment is enough. Welcome it. Welcome each other. Welcome love. Let the light in. Sing to the birds singing to you. Smile your best smile on camera, knowing that someone else needs it right now. Find a thing of beauty. Celebrate it. Reach out your heart. Shed tears. Know we are in this together. Let love in. Welcome it. This moment is enough. This is it. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. My name is Bob Hayes. Be leading us through the chalice lighting with Arian. And as you see her lighting the chalice, you will be able to see on your screen shortly the words that will be spoken as that chalice is lit. For those of you that know the words, we light this chalice in deep respect for the mystery and the holiness of life, in honor and gratitude for those who have gone before, with love and compassion for those who dwell among us, and with hope and faith for the generations to come.
So it's the time for all ages, so everyone can gather round to hear the story today. Many of you, I think, know this story already, but it's good to hear things again and again, and especially good to hear things when we're in, that we need to hear in times that are difficult. So this is about a village, and it's far away and long, long, long ago when the story starts. And in this village, a great calamity came. We're not really sure exactly what that calamity was, but it was a big calamity. And the rabbi of the village, knowing that there was a way to avert this great calamity, this great challenge that was facing them, the rabbi went into the woods to the special place, and there he found the special place, and he kindled a sacred fire there. And he said the sacred prayer. And indeed, God heard the prayer. And the trouble was averted, the calamity was averted, and the village was saved. It was a miracle. Many decades passed. Years went by. And again, something horrible was coming towards the village, some great calamity, some great trouble. And the rabbi, now a new rabbi, didn't know, let me try it that way, didn't know where the place in the forest was anymore, but he still knew how to light the sacred fire and to say the sacred prayer. And as he finished, he looked up to the heavens and he said, God, I know the prayer and I know how to light the sacred fire, but I don't know the place in the woods any longer. I pray that this will suffice. And indeed, it did suffice, and the calamity was avoided. Decades again went by. Yet again, as happens, another calamity came upon them. The rabbi didn't know the place in the woods, didn't know how to kindle the fire, but did know the prayer. And so there in his study, he said the prayer and then spoke up to the heavens again. I don't know where the place in the woods are, God. I don't know how to kindle the sacred fire any longer, but I do know the prayer, and I pray that this will suffice. Indeed, it did suffice. And the people were saved yet one more time. Now, you won't be surprised to know that decades passed again, years and years went by, and another calamity came upon the village, this one terrible and fearful. And the new rabbi, well, she didn't know the place in the woods. She didn't know how to kindle the fire. And they had forgotten the sacred prayer. So she sat in her study, in her armchair, and closed her eyes and tilted her head up towards heaven and said, oh God, I don't know where the place in the woods is. I don't know how to kindle the fire, and I no longer know the prayer. But I know the story, and I pray this will suffice. And indeed it did. And they tell us that God created humanity because God loves a story. It is the stories that we tell one another, our stories of triumph and of grief, that ultimately connect us and will save us, no matter the calamity. So may it be.
We now move to the portion of our service where we normally would be passing the collection basket. But as we are electronically communicating with each other, you will see on your screen how you can give electronically to the church of your choice by going to the links that you see on the screen. This is a difficult time for so many people. Part of the money from the collection today will be shared with the Palmer Scholars, which is in support of underrepresented Pierce County students of color to help them overcome financial, social, and cultural barriers in pursuit of higher education. Most importantly, we're here to embrace and care for each other. And the funds that come in today will help us help ourselves and help others and keep this church strong.
I invite you now to pause for a few moments, to hear some words, to take time for prayer or meditation, stillness, whatever will nourish you in this moment. We'll have some words. I'll share some words, a poem by my friend Beth Thier, who is writing from London. And then we'll have a moment or two of stillness together, and we'll come out to the sound of the bell. Let us join our hearts and minds together. Take a deep breath and out. And hear these words, the poem Heavy. I was so glad to see you last night. How I've missed the rays emanating from the suns of your eyes when you laugh, your expansive Midwestern drawl, and your all-encompassing hugs. Of course, we spent the evening in the kitchen, you resting your legs made weary by your big heart, me chatting as I prepared dinner. I summarized the children, you clucked maternally. I reported on my husband's busy job. You nodded empathically. And you asked gently, shining your love spotlight on me, just like you always had. I broke then. I confessed that the world had become unwieldy and the burden sometimes felt too great. I know what it is to carry weight, you said, but you're still here, and heavy lives are beautiful. Now go collect your family and let's eat. You've already made more than enough. I went to fetch my family, then called you to join in. You had gone, as I guessed you would, but you had left your spotlight, and it shone on us all. Let us pause together in stillness.
Our first reading this morning is by Judy Brown, Wooden Boats. I have a brother who builds wooden boats, who knows precisely how a board can be bent or turned, steamed just exactly, soft enough so that he, with the help of friends, can shape it to a hull. The knowledge lies as much within his sure hands on the plane as in his head. It lies in love of wood and grain, a rough hand resting on the stain of finished deck. Is there within us such an artistry forgotten in the cruddier tasks? The world requires us. The faster modern work that we have turns our life to do. Could we return to more craft within our lives and feel the way the grain of wood runs true by letting our hands linger on the product of our artistry? Could we recall what we have known but have forgotten? The gifts within ourselves, each other too, and thus transform a world, as he and friends do, shaping steamed oaken boards upon the hulls of wooden boats.
Thank you, Bob. How are you, friends? How are you all holding up? I have to say, I was chuckling this morning and I keep touching my face. I just cannot stop doing it. I have to tell you that. Are you having that trouble too? Back to my thought. This morning, scrolling through Facebook, I came upon a friend who had posted, good to know I'm not the only one, a friend who had posted this meme, 8th day of self-isolation in my house, and it's like Vegas. We're losing money by the minute. Cocktails are acceptable at any hour, and no one knows what time it is. Claire, my daughter, home from university for the duration through till August, when we hope she goes back, can't keep her days straight, though Peter and I do seem to be doing a pretty good job of keeping track. And I wonder how it is with you. We live in really strange times. A day or two ago, someone also noted on Facebook that they were having trouble watching shows and movies on TV. You know, we're all meant to be binging everything these days. Each time she said that people congregated, she thought, no, stop that. 6 feet distance. No, don't hug. Stop it. Stop it. I have the same thoughts sometimes, I have to say. It startles me to realize that only a month ago, March 8th, to be very specific, I drove to Portland to take part in an installation of a colleague who was being formally recognized as the minister of a congregation. And as I walked into the room where the colleagues were gathering, people tried to shake my hand or hug me. With my hands up, I would say, I am from the North. I do not shake hands and I do not hug. They looked at me as if I had gone a little off the side. That was 4 weeks ago. It already feels like a decade. Are you with me? I suspect you are. We are learning how to live in these times. When I put the title for this worship service onto our worship planning sheet, I had no idea what the world would look like when it came time to speak about the wisdom that we have in our hands and even in our whole body. The poem about boats was what suggested the topic, the images of a plane smoothing out the grain of wood, the knowledge in our hands and bodies, the touch of a cool hand on a child's fevered head to see if it's too warm, the light press of fingers into the top of a pan of cornbread hot from the oven to be sure it's baked through, the comfort of a hand on your shoulder when grief has overcome your heart. Do you miss it? I do. The poet says to us, could we return to more of craft within our lives and feel the way the grain of wood runs true by letting our hands linger on the product of our artistry? Could we recall what we have known but have forgotten, the gifts within ourselves, each other too, and thus transform a world? In this time of distance between us all, it is good to take comfort where we can. Seeing a beloved face in a darkened room on a flickering, churning computer screen, the texts and emails, FaceTime, social media, and always the love of an animal companion who shares our space. I've taken to calling Cooper my coworker. Perhaps you have done this too. It is good to find comfort where we can. And it is also good to keep reminding ourselves that this is not the only world that can be. There will be another world after this one, and another after that, and after that. And it is in our hands, in our wise hands and hearts, to be part of creating it anew with the harsh lessons we are learning. What would a world focused on compassion look like? How can we funnel our resources to those who are in most need? How do we take care of each other, build community, build solidarity in our neighborhoods, in our cities, in our villages and our towns, our states, our country, our world? Crisis like this always seems to pull back the veil to show us how interconnected we really are, how much we need each other, how tightly bound we are each to the other. As we continue to find our way through this fraught time, let us remember the wisdom we hold in our hands, the wisdom of care, of love, of compassion, and never forget that we are connected by so much more than touch. Our lives are always and ever intertwined with each other and with this fragile yet resilient globe, this blue boat home that we love. We will all be changed by this time we are living through. We will find wherever there is when we arrive and not before. We can't know what there will look like. As we abide in this liminal time, this time of boundaries where nothing seems clear, this time of living between what was and what will be, let us hold on to that hard-won wisdom of the world joined in a common life and community, and keep dreaming of the world shaped by what is possible for us all. I would invite you now into a moment, a time of setting intentions. In our service, for those of you who don't attend with us often, we take a moment to set an intention for the time going forward. If there's been something today in the sharing, in the candle lighting, in the words in the chat, in the music, if there has been anything that has touched you, I invite you to make an intention. Set an intention for how you will take it out of this space and into the world. Let us be in stillness together. So may it be with us all. Amen. Saying about the Chinese character for crisis, and it's usually described as this is hard. I'm seeing all the chat come by. I wonder if I can make it go away. Okay, it's you. Y'all know it's got to be me. That it's usually described as a combination between danger and opportunity. And that's always seemed wrong to me. And apparently this person looked at it and discovered that it's actually a more accurate interpretation to say danger and choice. The combination of danger and choice. And so as we part today, I invite you to be wise in your choices. I invite you to think about what you can do, what you can open, what you can remake, what you can hold in your heart with deep compassion and love, so that the world we dream may become a world we know. In these sweet, hard, dangerous times, may we hold one another close. May our love pour out from us abundantly and promiscuously. So may it be with us all in the days to come until we are together again.
We now move to the section of our service when we extinguish our chalice. Those of us who have been at TUUC for some time know those words, and I will lead you through them now as Arian extinguishes the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we will carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We are going to sing our closing blessing song, and I'm going to lead you through it. You are invited to share hand motions as you wish. And so let's do it. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. We'll sing it through twice. From you I receive, I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Go in peace, my friends.